How to tell your spouse you want more intimacy without making them feel pressured. Are you tired of your marriage not growing? You're not alone. Welcome to Why Your Marriage Isn't Growing, a podcast helping couples reignite their relationship, break free from the trap of just getting along, and rediscover the joy and passion they once had. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Why Your Marriage Isn't Growing, the Christian couple's guide to rekindling love, faith, and connection. Hi, my name is Greg.
And my name is Carolyn.
In this episode, you'll discover how to express your need for more intimacy in ways that invite connection rather than create pressure, and exactly what to say to open this sensitive conversation. Because I want you to buckle up, and whatever you're doing, you might want to pay close attention, because there are a lot of ways to show intimacy without whatever I thought in the beginning years of our marriage that it was a sexual encounter. Unbeknownst to me, my wife told me that ain't the way it goes. So, Carolyn, you want to share with them some of these three powerful benefits that we're going to talk about here?
Be more than glad to.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be an interesting podcast.
I'm loving it.
Okay.
Keep it moving.
You'll discover why typical approaches to requesting more intimacy often backfire and create distance. The exact words that communicate desire without creating pressure or guilt. And third, how to turn intimacy conversation into opportunities for deeper connection. Love the deeper connection.
The deeper connect, deeper still. We learned that from an apostle down in the Bahamas years ago.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the stakes and opportunities, honey?
I certainly do, because many Christian spouses struggle with unmet intimacy needs, but don't know how to address them without making their partner feel guilty or pressured. What if there's a way to express your desires that actually draws your spouse closer rather than pushing them away? Yeah. Inquiry minds want to know that one.
Yeah.
And we're going to start right here with point number one, because we promised to give you 3 points. Share with them point number one, why typical approaches to requesting more intimacy often backfire and create distance.
Okay, dear. So let's talk about what it is. Common intimacy communication mistakes that create pressure instead of connection, making it about frequency numbers.
Yes.
Using guilt or comparison, timing conversations poorly, and that's a bad one.
True.
Focusing on what's missing rather than what you value.
Now, that's important.
Yeah, that's very important. And making it feel like a
performance review. See, that
I had a laugh on that.
Yes. So now you dig down here taking notes on, okay, you did it like this in 1997. Yeah. Why we can't get this again? Like I mentioned to you the other day, I said, well, hey, it was a switch.
Oh, yeah.
Why did you switch?
You're so silly.
And you was like, well, I didn't mean to, but it just happened.
Yeah.
And that's the little inside joke with me and Carolyn, because I actually asked her that question 2 days ago. I'm like, well, you switched up. I mean, there wasn't nothing wrong with it.
Well,
it was like,
you asked like
I did. So here's why this is important, is because the Song of Solomon says in chapter 2, verse 7, he warns us, do not arouse or awaken love until it shows desires. When we create pleasure around intimacy, we work against the natural flow of desire that God designed.
But the key here is the created pressure.
The created pressure. You don't need to create pressure.
You don't need to create
it wasn't there. It's not there. Why are you creating something that don't need to be created?
So let's talk about what to do. Identify and avoid these counterproductive approaches. Stop tracking frequency or making numerical comparisons. Other couples do this so many times per week. That's funny.
X marks the spot.
Yeah.
Stop that. But if you want to stop that, avoid guilt, including statements like, you never want to, or it's been so long. When you saying stuff like that, you already red flags out to your spouse.
Mm-hmm. So don't bring up intimacy during conflict and when your spouse is stressed.
Amen. Because when you resist making it about your spouse's inadequacies rather than your own needs,
whoa! You want to avoid turning intimacy into a report card on their performance as a spouse.
Because you want to focus on connection and understand before making any requests.
Yeah.
That means having those ongoing conversations
Dialogue.
that we've been talking
Yeah.
about in the previous. And point 2 is just so good. I really like the exact words that communicate desire without creating pressure or guilt. I used to do that.
Okay, so let's talk about what it is. Specific language frameworks that express your needs while honoring your spouse's autonomy and creating emotional safety for honest response.
And why that's so important? Because it's important to God. And Paul said it so eloquently in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15, calls us to speak the truth in love. This balance of honesty and gentleness is especially critical when discussing intimate needs.
Okay.
See, it's a biblical framework here that will help you in any situation and circumstance inside of your marriage.
So let's talk about what to do.
Let's talk about it
Okay.
because they need to get a point-by-point blueprint on definitely what to do.
So you want to use these proven conversation starters and framework. Opening with affirmation.
I love it.
I love our physical connection.
Yes.
I'd love to explore how we might enjoy more of it together.
That's good.
Yeah.
And basically just focus on feelings, not frequency. And what I mean by that, I feel most connected to you when we're physically intimate, and I love to experience that more often. See, you're expressing to your spouse exactly what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a beautiful thing. Instead of trying to give them what you want,
Mm-hmm.
give them what they want. You'll get more out of.
So you want to invite collaboration.
I love it.
I'm wondering if there's anything that would help you feel more interested in physical intimacy. Have I ever had to ask you that?
To my knowledge, I'm not sure. Have you ever had that?
No.
I know that. I'm just messing. And you basically want to express personal needs without demands. There ain't nothing worse than demanding this. Physical touch is one of the ways I feel most loved. Or it could be talk about how to nurture that in our relationship. Because physical touch could be it. Curlin likes physical touch. Greg likes physical touch. We like to both physically touch each other. Curlin just don't want me to be rough.
That's right. Don't be
Want to be
rough with me.
soft and gentle.
That's right.
It's like, that's why I like massages, but Curlin doesn't.
Create space for their perspective. How do you feel about our physical connection? What would make it more enjoyable for you?
You got to avoid these ultimatum type deals. Replace "we need to" with "I would love to." Well, we need to do this. This one here is going to hit on the one we're talking about now. That's point number 3, because we promised them 3 impactful points.
Okay.
And point number 3 is this: how to turn intimate conversations into opportunities for deeper connection. Tell them how that looks like.
A structured approach to intimate discussions that build understanding. It addresses barriers and creates mutual enthusiasm rather than obligation. I cannot be making love through obligation.
I can't either. Because it ain't a natural flow. And we already said that earlier. Don't upset the natural flow of things. And why that's important is because Paul is telling us in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 3 through 5, speaks of mutual consideration and physical intimacy. True biblical intimacy involves both partners feeling heard, valued, and enthusiastic about the connection. You got to make this thing happen naturally. It would be like a robot, like the Stepford Wives. We say, okay, no, you're not doing it right this way. Let's do it this way. No, you got to be it has to be a natural flow. And if you were if y'all was in the room with us, you'd see it's a natural flow. When you touch her and rub her, and she says,
Keep your mind on this.
yeah, my mind is on this. That's what we're talking about.
So let's talk about what to do. Follow the connection framework for intimacy conversation. Choose the right time when you're both relaxed and have privacy, not during stress or conflict.
I like that.
Wouldn't you know that?
Well,
already?
some things ain't simple to most people, but everything that's common to us may be common to other people.
Okay.
Because we're saying here, open up with curiosity. I'd love to understand how you experience our physical connection. See, you and I were experimenting a lot at the beginning because we didn't know each other. Then as time went on, I learned what you like, you learned what I like.
All right. You want to notice their perspective. Listen without defending when they share barriers or concerns.
Listen, name your needs gently. You gotta see, Carolyn always tells me, Express your desires as personal needs, not criticism. I don't need to criticize her.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to have her express it to me.
Just let me know I'm easy.
See, listen to that. She said I'm easy. I love it.
Explore solutions together. What would help both of us feel more excited about intimacy?
I told y'all this was going to be Power Pack.
Yeah.
I told you we've been anticipating doing this episode for quite some time. We wanted to do it a couple of days ago, but we just said, well, let's hold it off. And you just got to know that when you create agreements, it establishes a specific mutual commitments that feel good to both of you. See, there's got to be a win-win situation for both people. It can't just be you winning. It can't be a competition.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you win and your spouse don't win, then it's always about you. Why is it always about you? It's two of y'all together.
Okay, so thank them. Acknowledge their willingness to have this vulnerable conversation.
So I want to thank you for having this vulnerable conversation
Thank you, babe.
with me today.
You're welcome.
We're having so much good time. We always do this because when you do this, the way you approach conversations about intimacy often determines the outcome more than the actual words you use.
Mm-hmm.
When you lead with curiosity instead of criticism, with understanding instead of demands, you create space for your spouse to move forward rather than away from you. Remember, the goal isn't just more frequent intimacy, it's intimacy that both of you genuinely desire and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Good designated physical connection to be a mutual celebration, not a duty performed by one for the other. When you approach these conversations with love and patience, you're not just advocating for your needs, you're inviting your spouse into the fullness of what God intended for your marriage. Love and connection, so your marriage doesn't fail, it flows.
So let's do a recap, babe.
You think we gave him some good stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I know it helped me a lot. All right.
We explored why typical approaches to requesting more intimacy often create distance.
Yep. We learned specific language that communicates desire without creating pressure. Don't want to be pressured.
Mm-hmm. We discovered the Connect framework for turning intimacy discussions into opportunities for deeper understanding.
We definitely talked about that. You got to have asked ways of intimacy, why intimacy matters as much as what you're asking for.
True biblical intimacy involves mutual enthusiasm, not just mutual obligation.
I like that. We always hate it when we have to come to an end. We just love doing these on a weekly basis. So we just want to thank you for joining us today because new episodes release every Monday and every Thursday. So be sure to follow us wherever you're listening to podcasts. If today's message gave you tools for approaching intimacy and conversations, because we want to have an intimate conversation with wisdom and love, please share it with someone whose marriage could benefit from these insights. And like I end them all, to God be the glory.